people who I know are watching my videos that haven't actually been to one of my classes before. So just for those, I'm just going to go through the breathing, the tummy and the pelvic floor and the hip rolls, a little bit more info, just so that you can join in with the videos. So we're starting on our backs. Our feet are pushing gently down into the mat. Our arms are down by our sides. Our shoulders are open. Our collarbones are open. And every part of our body that is touching the mat, we are gently pushing down. So our whole body is engaging with the mat. Shoulders are relaxing down. So the breathing for Pilates is we come in through the nose and out through the mouth. So it's a bit like blowing out birthday candles. It's in through the nose and it's a forced exhale through the mouth. So we want to try and slow down the exhale for as long as we can. So on your next exhale, try and make your exhale last that little bit longer. So big deep breath in. You will find that as you practice, you will be able to go longer and longer on that exhale. So just keep that breathing going. So in through the nose and out through pursed lips. So every exhale, try and make it last a little bit longer, a little bit slower than the last one. And then hold it there. So now we're going to pop our fingertips just on the inside of your hip bones and we're going to cough. You will find underneath your fingertips there's a muscle tightening. There's your transverse abdominis, and this is the muscle we want to try and get working. So on your next exhale, we want to engage that muscle. We want to pull it down. We want to make it feel like what it did when you coughed. So we're going to be a big deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, we're going to engage that tummy muscles and we're going to pull them down. So the moment there's a little curve in your lower back, we want to make that remain the same throughout. So as we're engaging these tummy muscles, nothing else is moving. It's just the muscle pulling down. So big deep breath in. Exhale. So those tummy muscles engaging, it's like your belly button is being pulled down towards the mat without moving your lower back. So just take a couple more practices of that. And then hold it there. Now we're going to forget about the tummy, just going to concentrate on the pelvic floor. So for those of you that have had pregnancies or anything like that, you'll know about your pelvic floor. For anyone else, it's the muscle we use to turn off going to the toilet. So imagine you're busting, you're running to the toilet, and to hold that wee in until you get there. So on a scale of 0 to 10 for how high we lift, we're looking at about a 3 to 4. So we're not lifting a huge amount because we want to try and maintain that connection when we're exercising later. So if we try and hold a 10, we're not going to be able to do that and then move around at the same time. So same as before, we inhale through the nose. On the exhale, a little internal lift of that pelvic floor. Nothing moves on the outside. Inhale, release, let it go. Exhale, same again. Little tiny lift of that pelvic floor. Inhale, release, let it go. Just practice a few more of those. So pulling that pelvic floor up just a tiny bit, engaging it. And release, last one. And release. You might find when you're lifting that pelvic floor, your tummy is naturally wanting to tighten. That is absolutely fine. We're now going to add the two together. So on your next exhale, your tummy engages and your pelvic floor lifts. So those tummy muscles underneath your fingertips are going to engage and a little lift of that pelvic floor. So inhale through the nose and exhale. Tummy engaging, pelvic floor lifting. And just a couple more of those. And release. Now we're just going to look at the ribs. So there's a tendency to, when we breathe in, we want to lift the ribs up too high. So we're going to try and breathe into the sides and the back of the ribs at the same time. So we're expanding the rib cage three-dimensionally. So it's not just from the front to the sides and the back. So as you inhale, the rib cage opens out. And as you exhale, you pull those ribs down. As your tummy engages, your pelvic floor lifts, you're pulling those ribs down. So it's like we're shortening the gap between your lower rib and your hip bones. So if you want to pop your fingertips on your hip bones and your thumb on your ribs, I'm going to take a big deep breath in, side and the back of the ribs. As you exhale, try and bring your thumb and your fingers closer together. Without moving your lower back. So big deep breath in. Exhale, engage. Pull those ribs down. 2 more. Last one. And hold it there. Now we're going to look at rocking your pelvis, so we're getting that lower back moving. This is where a lot of people have a lot of tightness, and we want to try and get it moving before we start the exercises. So at the moment you have a little curve in your lower back, and we want to try and flatten that. So if you want to, you can pop a hand underneath. We're going to take an inhale. On the exhale, we're going to engage that tummy, lift the pelvic floor slightly, and we're going to bring that lower back down towards the mat. We're not jamming it down, we're just rocking it back gently. Inhale, we're going to rock it back the other way. So the bottom stays down on the mat. It's a very small movement. You might find this quite awkward if you have got a tight lower back, but the more you practice, the easier you will find it. So we exhale, rocking towards you. Inhale and release. And exhale, rock towards you. When you get used to it, you can bring your hands back down by your side. So exhale, tummy and pelvic floor. Inhale and release. Just 2 more of these. And release. Last one. And release. So that is what we're going to do before every one of the videos. So I'm not going to go through it on every video, but those are the movements we're going to do so that we get the breathing, the tummy engaged, the pelvic floor lifted, and that lower back moving before we start a video. Thanks, guys.